All right, guys, what's up, everybody? It is Friday morning here in Sydney, Australia, 6:30. Wherever you're tuning in, I say welcome. As you're tapping into this live stream, be sure to give me a thumbs up, like this video. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Also, join our Johnny Says Boxing Insider VIP group. It's a membership here on YouTube. The link is pinned in the comment section below. There's 3 different levels of membership. The first one, a couple bucks a month. To learn more, click that link. All 3 gets you access to our Discord. So our Discord's growing. We every morning I wake up, we have new members. So if you're new to the channel, I say welcome. I say thank you for the support. We have fights that start here in a couple hours. So all week we've been covering the fights here the fights happening today in Puerto Rico. It's a Salida Promotions card headlined by Joshua Pagan taking on Malik Montgomery. I've given you my breakdown. I give you my prediction. I also, in our Discord and on the channel, gave you my long parlay for that card. Now, in terms of odds on Pagan Montgomery of the fight card and of the fights that are being offered for us to play, I don't see any upsets happening. I was close earlier in the week in taking the Lozado fight, taking her opponent, but after doing some film study, granted, Pagano Montgomery is a 50-50. That's the closest to sort of like taking a dog, but it's a coin flip. Everything else, I don't really see an upset happening on the card. So I put that parlay up on YouTube. I gave it to you on Instagram. I gave it to you in our Discord. So if you want to go over that, I'll go over that briefly. Also, yesterday on live stream number 2, maybe it was live stream number 1. I did 2 yesterday. One of the subscribers, Clarence, asked me to put together a sort of last or on the spot parlay. He asked me for an underdog in boxing, an underdog in the UFC, and a touchdown score in NFL. So I don't generally bet this way, but because he put me on the spot, I did it, and I put that up as well. It's 12-1 odds. We'll go over that. And then the press conference. I was just watching the press conference for Parker Wardley. We watched the weigh-ins yesterday for Montgomery and Pagan. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to play you a voice message from one of my insiders regarding Parker and Wardley, something that he saw in his film study, former boxer. And I'll start taking questions now. Adu, Morning Boys, JSB Crew, Swain. Yeah, dude. And Adu, when I put the poll up on my YouTube channel or on the Instagram and on YouTube, 63% picked Montgomery and only 30% picked Pagan. That was 2 days ago. I wonder if any of the opinions have flip-flopped. But I'm going to play, before we get to Pagan, I want to play this voicemail for you guys. So this is from, and I'm not going to share the screen on this because it's in my Instagram Messenger. This is from a buddy of mine who, this is from Tommy. Tommy is a former professional boxer. He has a show with Paulie. This is Tommy's read on Parker versus Wardley. Okay?
Yeah, I'll look into that fight, Kameda. I gotta look into that fight. I will say this: I'm very heavy on Parker on this one. I was kicking myself in the ass because one thing that I noticed with this guy Wardley when he fought Hooney, his last fight, and I didn't mention it on the fucking show, and I meant to, but I was tired and fucking kind of in a rush. Take a look at that fight if you want. He is so susceptible to counterpunching. It's unbelievable. So this guy is wide fucking open for the counters all day. If Parker is keen to that, and doesn't overuse it, because then this guy will catch on to it. Just use it when you need to use it here and there. Go back to the jab, let him get a couple of combinations off, and then here comes the next combination and counter it. He's going to score at will. This guy gets countered to death in that fight where he had to come from behind and score a 10th round knockout. He just got counterpunched for 10 rounds. This guy got too comfortable, and that's why his face was a fucking mess, because he was just counterpunched from the shit out of this guy. After he throws, he's sitting there waiting for the receipt, and that's not going to work with a guy with Parker's experience and Parker's boxing IQ.
So that's a good read. That I was already going with Parker. You guys watched my breakdown of Parker and Fabio, but that's a good read by Tommy about one of Fabio's biggest flaws is being susceptible to getting countered. What's up, TJ? So TJ's bringing up a great point here, and I told you guys this all week. Um, TJ says money's coming in on Fabio. And guys, I said this was going to happen. And this is what I said. If you wanted Fabio Wardley, I told you guys to take Fabio Wardley. If this was your bet, I told you to take Fabio earlier in the week. It's already Friday morning. I think the ship has sailed in terms of the best odds and getting value for your bet for Fabio. And I was telling you guys because this exact thing has happened. People, the average bettor, the sort of gambler who isn't like us, the bettor who just goes to their app, they're working a 9 to 5, they're seeing, hey, what fights are on this weekend, and they see those odds. Oh, I've heard of Wardley. Isn't Wardley the guy who just knocked Hooney out? The average person might know that. They're the one who is taking Wardley based off of those odds. Not saying that it can't happen. And I said all week, if you wanted Parker, wait until Friday or Saturday, wait until closer to fight night to put your bets in on Parker because this exact thing was going to happen, and it's exactly what happened. So Hooney fundamentally is more sound than Parker. Well, fundamentally more sound than Parker in moments, though. I think Where I think a lot of Parker's pushback comes from is how he tends to fall apart sometimes when he gets hurt. Sometimes, he doesn't look good when he gets hurt. Everybody references the Joe Joyce fight, the Zhang fight, and then also kind of in the pocket when he's throwing bombs. He really opens up and he leaves his chin right in the middle. So I get that, but fundamentally more sound doesn't mean he's the better boxer. So Hooney definitely has his flaws as well. He's not a 100% flawless fighter. Hooney comes in and out on one line, really gets predictable with his entrances and his exits. Parker, more skilled all the way around. I love Parker's uppercut, one of my favorite uppercuts in boxing. I played you guys footage from Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark 1 or Fraser Clark 2. The exchange right before Clark gets knocked out. Clark lands on the button, a clean uppercut on Wardley's head, and Wardley ate it. Wardley is susceptible to that uppercut. I told you guys all week that's the punch to be looking out for. Is Parker's uppercut against Wardley. Only 3 guys, like the video. What's up, Dwayne? Dwayne Styles, happy Thursday, Johnny. I'll be shipping your shirt tomorrow or Saturday. Appreciate you, man. It kind of makes me feel bad because that shipping from America to Australia, shipping is kind of expensive. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the support. I don't know what fights Tommy watched for Parker, but I'd skip Wilder versus Piccoli. No. So Tommy was just referencing. He was referencing Wardley versus Justice Hooney, and he was using what he saw in the Wardley Hooney fight up until Hooney getting stopped, and he was using that to compare and contrast what to expect if that's the same sort of approach against Parker. Parker can't help himself. He gets in scraps. He took a ton of punishment in the White and both short fights, not to mention the Joyce fight. He did. I could see TJ. You got your money on Wardley. Let's go, brother. Johnny, don't feel bad after your shirt. You took me. Appreciate you, bro. Let's do it. So I want to look at the current odds with. We're gonna turn the table here. With this is the main event today. Okay, so guys, this is Joshua Pagan versus Malik Montgomery. I don't know if you guys are gonna have action on this. So I got Pagan yesterday. He was $1.88. This is interesting. The odds have shifted. Yesterday, Pagan was $1.88. 2 days earlier, he was $1.90. He's dropped to $1.83. So it seems like wiser minds have come back and put more money on Pagan. What happened earlier in the week is that we talked about it all week. With Montgomery, people have gone to his box rec. They've seen the 21-1 record with 18 knockouts. They didn't do their film study. They didn't do the research, and they put money on Montgomery. And you just both guys' records are a bit deceiving. Pagan 13-04 knockouts, doesn't have one punch power, fights like he has power. Aggressive fighter, likes fighting in the pocket, front foot. Malik Montgomery, very aggressive fighter, active fighter, average 100 punches per round. Hasn't Neither guy's really fought anyone, but Montgomery's all of those knockouts, lower level competition, and he uses his volume, he uses that pressure to stop his opponent. He is coming off a loss. The Jeremy Hill fight was at 130. He was a favorite in that fight. This fight's at 35. I have to reference that every time we talk about this fight. Let me know where your money's at. I've taken Pagan, and it signed me out. So I'm not gonna sign in front of you guys and give you my password, but I was gonna pull up that ticket. History Vault, Johnny, you bet on Arnie Dawson, Mitchell Smith. Haven't heard you talk about it yet. Let's pull it up. Because the way I generally do my betting strategies, if there's multiple cards throughout the week, I will focus on the main events, right? We'll talk about it. We sprinkled stuff here. And then in this instance, because we have the UK happening on my Sunday and Puerto Rico happening on my Friday, there's this gap of almost 72 hours. So just because I haven't spoken about Dawson Smith doesn't mean I don't have action. I definitely didn't cover this fight. And I'm going to pull up the odds for you. So this is interesting. Who do you like here, History? Mitchell Smith, $2.70. Let's have a look. So this is Mitchell Smith. He's $2.70 underdog, 18-01, 9 knockouts, UK fighter. Arnie Dawson. This is on the undercard of Parker Wardley. Arnie Dawson is the favorite here. 8-04 knockouts. This cat looks like my buddy Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony's fresh in my mind because I just shared Facebook sends these reminders about this photo. This moment happened 9 years ago. So I grew up with he's a he's really famous stand-up comic named Tony Hinchcliffe. He's a buddy of mine that I grew up with in Youngstown. I just shared a photo of him on my story. It's him and I. Arnie Dawson looks like Hinchcliffe when he was younger. This is hilarious. But dude, this is cautionary for me. You get Arnie Dawson 8 pro fights. You know, this guy's the favorite against Mitchell Smith. Look, I got to do more tape. But I mean, 19 pro fight, double the amount of pro fights. History Vault, are the dogs barking? So Dawson at the moment. Okay. So I got to do my homework then. Just off surface value, my PTSD and trauma over the last 6 months of fights like this, just matchups, a guy with double the pro experience versus a hot prospect, and then, you know, we've seen this hasn't really gone our way as of late. So before I jump in and tell you who I like, I'm going to do some film study on this after the fights today in Puerto Rico. Let's have a look at the card real quick. So guys, this is the card. What do you guys make that this is on behind a paywall, guys? So this card is pay-per-view. Is this a pay-per-view card? Is it pay-per-view worthy? Are you guys paying for this? Is this something that, I mean, Parker Wardley is a good fight. There are good fights on here. I'm kind of salty the Edmondson Ezra Taylor fight fell through. We know Edmondson had to pull out. He's fighting Steve Woodall now. So Mitchell Smith, Arnie Dawson, it's for the European title. Royston Barney Smith is a fun, a guy with some heat behind him. So there are some nice little names, but is this a pay-per-view card? You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't even checked what they're charging us here in Sydney to pay for this card. So I just wanted to ask you guys, wherever you guys are, we're 15 minutes in. Could you like this video? Put a thumbs up. As we're starting to heat up here, the live streams yesterday, the live stream the day before, we're floating between low end 30, high end 70 people in. I just want to remind everybody it helps me a lot to just like the video. Hopefully you guys are subscribed and click the link that's pinned in the comment section to join our Discord. Victor, we're not streaming it illegally, brother. Okay, so PJ says they said Dawson is good. Well, the odds are saying Dawson's going to win. Bum equipment. Mitchell Smith is looking to restart a career that he never had. Dawson is up and coming with good enough skills to bet on. There's a channel in the Discord for the fight. All right, good boy. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up. So, guys, if you haven't joined the Discord, Bum Equipment is referencing. Shout out to Gil. Gil is my moderator on Discord. If 3 months ago I never even heard of Discord, fast forward to right now, we have a moderator. I think that's pretty cool. I'm learning. So over the last few months in the Discord, the boys have been asking for a little bit of more like organization. So we've added more sports, as you could tell. The sports we have we have bet slips, Johnny's picks, American football, soccer, NHL. This is a level that I haven't launched yet. So level 3 of our membership is a fitness level that I'm going to get everybody who signs up to this. I'm going to be your online coach because it's my bread and butter. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. There's an NBA tab. We have a poll tab, film study room, so we can watch film together. But I'm going to go down to, so this is the study area. So in the study area, Gil has organized it. Rather than just posting randomly about any fight, you can now go to the study area and pick an upcoming fight. And what we're doing here is as these fights come and go, these will get deleted. So there's a tab for right here, Dawson Smith. I didn't even see this one. I didn't even know there was a tab here. Okay. So I'm just going to read. We'll just read this together. Discuss the fight here. Mitchell Smith. So Bum Equipment shared Mitchell. So this is a cool thing about the Discord, guys. So there's been some misconception. People think the Discord is just for bettors and gamblers. Obviously not. This is for boxing heads. So Bum Equipment shares Mitchell Smith versus Christian Narvaez. So obviously you're sharing old fights. Keep in mind this is basically an in-house Frank Warren fight. You mean it's an easy fight for Dawson? I see Smith is trying to restart his career with a win here. The last real fight he might have been in was 2015 versus Jupp. Dawson has a few inches of height on him. Can't tell the reach, but I'm assuming. Okay, so you're saying the odds are a bit, they should be wider. Mar the Prince, here's a full card. Both appeared. So Mar the Prince, he shares a card. So you guys get the gist of the benefits of joining this. And I didn't even know, I haven't even caught up. I just woke up this morning, so I didn't even read all this inside the Discord about this specific fight. So as you can see, guys, a whole nother value to joining the membership is that you're learning. This is like we got a little like university going on. We got a really educated chat here right now. We got an educated Discord. These boys take this seriously. They're doing film study. Swaggy R says both of them are trash. Hard not to just pick the in-house fighter at the moment. PJ the Puppet Show. We need a table tennis channel. You know what's coming next, PJ? We're gonna do a pick a number channel. You know the game at the casino in Vegas Vacation, where for the true gambling degenerates, you put a $20 bill down and I match it. So whatever money you put down, I match, and then you have to guess what number I'm guessing in my head. Pick a number. You go first. Here's my $100. You match it. What number am I thinking? You say 7. I said 8. Give me your money. That's next. TJ, Discord's great. Yeah, we're learning out here. So, guys, I guess to answer your question, then, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I got an educated response to this. I just learned more about this upcoming fight with you guys in the last 5 minutes than I did going into this matchup. So I want to bring up. Oh, this is a good point. Muay Thai and kickboxing tab. The thing about Frank, I love Muay Thai. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my favorite fighters come from that discipline. Historically speaking, Ramon Deckers, the famed Dutch kickboxer, John Wayne Parr, Australia's first ever Lumpini Stadium world champion. So like I love Muay Thai as well, but the issue is, do we start because we do have to realize those tabs, the film study, the outcome of the film study, the intention is to learn, but the outcome is to win. So I never get options on the books down here in Australia to even take play on any Muay Thai or kickboxing fights. I don't know if you guys do. PJ the publisher, what's it? Maybe you guys haven't. If you guys ask for golf, we'll put golf up in there. Glory and one. Yeah, I mean, some of my favorite fighters, like I said, were strikers. A personal friend of mine at one time was the one championship double champ, Ongla and Song. Ongla at one time was the light heavyweight champ and middleweight champ until RDR beat him. And I'm pretty sure RDR took both of his belts. Hats off to Ongla, just retired. One of the best MMA fighters, grittiest MMA fighters. Never fought in the UFC. Kind of was one championship sort of guy for a long time. So, moving forward, we're going to check out the. Did you who taped this fight? I want to ask you guys on the chat. Did any of you guys tape Lozado? This fight is on the undercard today in Puerto Rico. Did anyone tape Lozado Parker? Appreciate you, Frank. We're all learning, brother. We're all learning. Life's a learning process. The only reason I'm asking you guys about this fight is because I got a couple messages regarding upset alert between Lozado versus Parker. Now, Tommy messaged me. He said the play on this to I'm not convinced. I'm going to ask you guys. Tommy messaged me and said the play on this fight is actually the fight to go the distance. He said that will the fight go the distance? Yes. $1.32 to add to a parlay, he said, is great value. He said that he did the tape on both ladies. When you put together, I think it's an 8 rounder, 2 minute rounds. He said he can't see either lady stopping each other. Do you guys agree with this take? Is the move? What's up, Mankey? So Mankey crazy Lozada. So Lozada's the favorite. She's at on the money line. You're only getting a $1.19. Is the risk worth it? The extra 13 cents. If you think Lozado is a lock here, she's at a $1.19. Is the risk worth taking the fight to go the distance at $1.32 for the sake of juicing up that parlay? I'm asking you guys. I'm not quite sure on this. What's up, Luis Martinez? We're saying boxing, brother. We got it all happening. It's cracking. It's cracking. Adu, is Kameda live or is the fight set up for Casimiro? This is a great question. I covered this last night on the live stream. We had Nick from Breaking Bad Boxing on the live stream. He called in and he put together a little parlay for us. And Kameda, I got messaged a couple times on Instagram. I know there's a lot of people on my channel here from the Philippines who are salty with us taking Kameda. But people are saying that Casemiro is out of shape. They're saying he didn't train that well for this camp. They're saying at 36 years old, what are his motivations to still be fighting? At the same time, Kameda, I want to show you this though. This is a Kameda Promotions card. This card is, I think, in Kyrgyzstan, if I'm not mistaken. Kyrgyzstan. Okay. And there's some good fights on this card. Deuce Matov is fighting Bibiano. Bibiano's a 7-1 dog. I think that's pretty disrespectful. But so Bibiano right here, good fighter. We covered him on the channel a couple months ago. 7-1 dog fighting Deuce Matov. Deuce Matov's a hot prospect. I think at the end of the day, nobody on our channel is going to show every single parlay, every single bet. I'm not lying when I say I might sprinkle something on Bibiano on a one-off. You give me him at plus, like I said, he's a 7-1 dog, dude. It's insane. But here's what I wanted to reference. Do you see the arena? So they're fighting in Kyrgyzstan. We know about the Kameda family, the brothers, the promotional company. This is a Kameda Promotions card. Casemiro is fighting Kameda, one of the sons, and it's not the odds currently. They're starting to shift towards Kameda. If you guys had to, if you guys pressed me and were pressing me, Johnny, give me an upset this week. You got to give me an upset. On boxing, what odds are wrong? This is the one I would give you. And people are salty about this. I already got a couple messages about people who heard that I said Casemiro's on upset alert. I mean, in Kyrgyzstan, Casemiro has been known in this version of him to get in and out of shape really bad in between fights. He's 36 years old. Kameda's plus money. It's his promotional card. It's in Kyrgyzstan. I mean, if you're going to take a dog, why not sprinkle something on Kameda? So that is my sort of thing. Parker got 5 losses. Yeah, so this is the Lozado card. So do you guys see the female fight going the distance? Head clashes, fight could get stopped. Boxing fan, can we make $1 entry poll for how much time the illegal betting scam guys will get? What what am I missing here, boxing fan? Can we make $1 entry poll for how much time the illegal betting scam? Who are the illegal betting scam guys? What am I missing here? Kameda is much bigger too. He's normally 126. Rambler, what's up, buddy? So are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you Rambler, do you think the juice is worth the squeeze sprinkling something on Kameda? Same thing, Swaggy. Swaggy says Kameda is big compared to he is. JP Farley. What did I miss with Chauncey? Did I miss something? I'm Googling it right now. No shit. This is insane. I gotta pull this shit. This is crazy, man. Chauncey getting. We're gonna pull this up. Sorry to take a detour. We are about 30 minutes in. Arrests made. FBI probe sports gambling. Arrest Miami Heat's Terry Rozier. Chauncey Billups arrested. This is insane. Sorry, guys. I'm just finding this out on the spot. I had no idea. I literally live in my bubble. It is 7 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. I coached a client here in my gym in Sydney, and then I came to talk to you boys and girls. So I didn't know anything about this. These pop-up ads are ridiculous. NBA gambling indictment alleges Damon Jones sold info on LeBron. What? Hold up. Let me go to ESPN.com. Gosh, my computer's crashing. This is crazy. So how about that dollar poll? Yeah, let's start a poll. Rozier said take the under, play with an injury. Dude, when you got Cash Patel on ESPN, Okay. Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones have been arrested as part of a pair of wide-ranging investigations related to illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia. Authorities announced Billups and Rozier have been placed on leave from their teams, the NBA said in a statement. A total of 34 people were arrested as a result of the years long investigation covering 11 states and involving tens of millions of dollars. FBI Director Kash Patel said law enforcement officials said the multiple charges involve four mafia families and organized crime networks, with Patel saying of the money involved that the fraud is mind boggling. Rozier, who was arrested Thursday morning at a hotel in Orlando, Florida, is accused of participating in a legal sports betting scheme using insider NBA information. As part of the scheme, gamblers used non-public information to bet on at least 7 NBA games between March 2023 and March 2024, involving the Charlotte Hornets, Orlando Magic, Portland Trailblazers, Los Angeles Lakers, and Toronto Raptors, according to the indictment. In 3 of the 7 games, players intentionally removed themselves from contests to benefit the gamblers' bets. That is ridiculous, man. This is not a feel good story. God damn, this is horrible. This is insane. This makes me super salty. And for everything that for a guy like myself who actually still feels that ethics still exists in the world or morality is still a thing in the world, when I read stuff like this is disheartening to say the least. Let's continue. God damn. The defendants had access to private information known by NBA players or NBA coaches that would likely affect the outcome of games or players' performances and provided that information to other co conspirators in exchange for either a flat fee or a share of betting profits. U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nisella, called it one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the U.S. They might crack down on online sports betting now. Shit, I don't think so. What do they say? Maybe for pro athletes, I think they're going to crack down if you sign a $1 million contract to an organization. That's the crazy thing, right? You know what I'm saying? A crackdown, but for the public, dude, Pandora's already out of the box. This has nothing to do with public. We're the sheep. You know what I'm saying? We're the guinea pigs. We're the ones who suffered in this. They were abusing us, the people, the betters, the money, the live money, and they were benefiting off of insider information and corruption. This is absolutely insane. Billups, who was arrested in Oregon, is charged in a separate indictment alleging a wide-ranging scheme to rig underground poker games that were backed by mafia families, authorities said. Oh my God. The defendants are accused of using technology to steal millions from victims in the New York area. Guys, we know that gambling is for pro athletes is the pump I talked about. Gambling, you guys watched the Netflix The Last Dance with Michael Jordan? Jordan was such an intense gambler. He would gamble on let's flip this coin, heads or tails, 10,000 bucks. When uh when I lived in Long Beach, California, I used to work at this nightclub as a bartender, and a lot of the boys who worked there were from Michoacan in Mexico, and the gambling culture there is really intense. Everything from gambling on La Liga football to we would play that they would play. We would play because I would have to get in some action. In between like the busy time at night, you'd go in the back behind the nightclub. It was called Lapa Lapa. It was right on the beach in Long Beach. And you would see all the boys playing this quarter game called Line. So there'd be a crack in the ground, just a random, all you needed was a coin. There'd be a crack in the ground probably from here to maybe my bookshelf there. So you're standing there, it's me versus you, and then there's a crowd, and you put your wager, like we'd go $20 a flip. And whoever could throw their coin closer to the crack of the ground wins the money. My point is, gambling is crazy. I'm gonna continue reading this. Billups was not named in the sports betting indictment. The description of a co-conspirator who allegedly told a bettor that a number of Trailblazer players would miss a March 23 game had a playing and coaching career that matches Billups. Okay, so Billups sharing insider information is insane. Guys, this is a developing story. The case stems from the betting scandal involved from Raptors center Jonte Porter, who was banned from the NBA. And this is Michael Porter's brother, who was banned from the NBA in the spring of 2024 and is awaiting sentencing for his role in a gambling scheme around player prop bets. Porter admitted in court to manipulating his performance in 2 games during the 2023 season. Two of the conspirators in the Porter case, Amarawade and Henin, were also named as defendants in the poker indictment. Holy shit. You ready for this? In the poker case, Billups and Jones are accused of using their celebrity to lure people into playing in poker games that were rigged by the mafia, Nocella said. The mafia allegedly used sophisticated cheating technologies, including shuffling machines that could read the cards in the deck, poker chip trays with hidden cameras, special contact lenses and glasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table. That is absolutely insane. This is wild. This is like the executive game episode of The Sopranos. Once Once the so-called fish lost, the mafia used extortion and violence to make sure they paid their gambling debts. Investigators found that see, this is crazy. So this is proper federal prison time here, because when you start, illegal gambling is already federal, okay? When you start getting into people being pressed by the mafia, now we're talking RICO cases. Now we're talking state to state. You mix that with the online stuff. These sentences are going to be insane, because these are all like federal crime stacked upon federal crime. Dude, this is insane. And you got and our boy Charlie Hustle isn't in the Hall of Fame because after he retired and he was coaching, he was betting that his team would win. And he's not in the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest baseball players of all time, rest in peace, who passed away. They kept him out the Hall of Fame because he was betting on his team to win. Pete Rose, I'm talking about, and it was a different time back then. But they need to put Charlie Hustle in the Hall. Yeah, good thing we don't gamble like that. Shit. I don't really be doing all that. This is where I tap in my Cedric the Entertainer. I don't got time for all these little games. I don't got time to call another man delicious. I don't be doing all these little illegal gamblings. We don't do all that. Billups, here we go. We're gonna continue. This is saucy. Billups, who was known as a face card in the scheme, helped to organize and played in games held in Vegas using a rigged shuffling machine in April 2019, where they defrauded victims of at least $50,000. Following another rigged game in October 2020, Billups was wired $50,000 for that. Dude, this guy made millions of dollars in the NBA. Millions of dollars, man. He was part of those Detroit teams with Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace. And then guess who dethroned them boys? Guess who dethroned that run? Let's go, LeBron. Let's go, young LeBron. Y'all ain't ready for it. LeBron scoring the last 28 points in the fourth quarter and in overtime to beat the Pistons. And then we went to the finals and got swept against the Spurs when we had Sasha Pavlovich, Ira Newble, Anderson Varejao, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas as our starters. People always try to shade LeBron. Name another player who took a more suspect team to the finals than LeBron. I digress. Victims believed that they were sitting at a fair table. Instead, they were cheated out of millions. Malik Beasley, an NBA free agent who is under federal investigation for gambling allegations, was not met. How about Malik Beasley getting hit with strays up in here? Read this statement. Malik Beasley, an NBA free agent who is under federal investigation for gambling allegations, was not mentioned in the indictments. His attorney previously told ESPN that Beasley is not a target. So this stuff is just happening rampantly throughout the league. And this is the last time. The federal investigations are ongoing. La di da, la di da. Whoever just gave a shout out on that, I appreciate it. I had no idea this was crazy. This is X-ray tables is next level, boy. X-ray. You know what, Money Meech? When we're all younger, when I was a young buck, coming up, I'm talking like going from high school to college. I played. You're playing with your boys. You're on a team. Even if you didn't play sports, you're going to college parties. Your boys at that age, you do some grimy shit. You're 19, 20, 21. You're doing some grimy things, trying to see. You're figuring life out. You're figuring your own morality out. You're figuring your own ethics. You're seeing where your boundaries and standards are, right? But even in those years, you have that one or two boys who will do something so grimy, you would look at them and be like, that was y'all messed up on that one. I ain't following you. Like you got that's this. Like when you're talking about X-ray reading tables, that's insane. And another shocking thing about this is Chauncey Billups getting transferred $50,000. Let's see what Chauncey's contracts were. Okay. So in Chauncey's career, a Hall of Fame career at that, he's allegedly to have earned over $100 million. $100 million. And he's putting himself in a position to get transferred $50,000. He is in a position of leadership. He is a head coach. He is looked up to by not only a $1 billion organization, at least I don't know, what are these NBA franchises worth? Portland, their city's struggling. I mean, you'd have to say, I don't know if I'd be too far off what Portland's organization is worth. But my point is, 4 billion. So the organization is worth $4 billion. You have a guy in Chauncey who is looked up to be the driver of the organization, a leader of men. And he's putting himself in a situation to expel all of that trust, all of his career respect, revelry. People, dude, when I heard Chauncey Billups, my reaction was 100% authentic. People used to look to him as like he played the game in a specific type of way to where if you had, a young son, you'd be like, watch Chauncey, man, play the game like Chauncey. He governed, how he governed on the court, and you within bad decisions, you totally just negate all that for $50,000. That is insane. I need that X-ray table. How would that X-ray table help you, mate? What guys? I got 15 minutes left. Um, Anybody want to call in? So go to our Discord. Guys, for all the JSB insiders, I put the link in the Discord. Right here. If you guys want to call in, click that link. I'll stay on for about 15 minutes. He risked it for 50 bit. Mate, this is shocking. Like I'm kind of like taken back by this, as you could tell. This is insane. So where were we? He bet $100 million to win 50K back. This is like a muscles bet. This is this like this is a Carlos bet right here. When Carlos would be betting $50,000, or who else? One of the big fellas in the group. This is no shade. One of the big fellas in our Discord. He put up a post that he was kind of getting starched for. He shared a ticket last week or the week before where he bet $50,000 to win $4,000. Johnny, we need a three-leg lock. All right, let's do it right now. We'll do it right now. Let's get a three-leg lock. Let's get it. You guys know I don't like using the word lock, but we'll do it. You know there's no locks in boxing. You know we don't got no locks up in here in boxing. Something that I like, and guys, I'm not gonna these three locks. I'm not going to take any fights that I've already talked about. So I'm not going to put Pagan Montgomery. I'm not going to put Parker Wardley. So don't say, how come you didn't put Pagan and Montgomery? Why ain't you put Parker and Wardley up in here? I'm not. So these are just different. Uh, I mean, I could go the muscles route and just take $3 twos. You guys already know that I didn't tape Arnie Dawson. You guys already know that I didn't tape Arnie, so I can't mess with Arnie here. All right, you know who a lock is? I did tape this fight, so the odds are going to be shit, but Royston Barney Smith is on my lock list. For the sake of late replacement, Ezra was supposed to fight Edmondson. Ezra, but $12, $13. So we need a better word for lock. You know what I'm saying? Because what are we getting out of this, right? What is it? That's not paying anything. What is that paying? 26. I mean, Lewis Neary is gonna win. He's fighting. I'm gonna throw a couple people on here. We'll make it more than a three-leg lock. I mean, Tateron's gonna win. That's four legs. That's $1.40. I mean, Bakary Samake. There's a lot of the odds are shit though, boys. Samake's gonna win. Do you really want to throw $1.04 on a parlay though? You know what? I'm throwing Dawson on there because you guys asked for it. You guys sold me on it. I don't. You know what? Out of ethics, I can't. I don't know enough to say that he's a lock. Um, Kameda, Casemiro, even this Dusmatov fight, man. I don't know, man. I don't like these odds at all with Dusmatov. Okay, and Lozado. There. What is this? $1.67. $100 gets you 67 back. So I'm comfortable with this. So Royston Barney Smith, Ezra Taylor, Lewis Neary, Pedro Tattarin, Lozado. 5 legs, $1.67. There you go. I like it. Taylor, easy money. PJ, medium high confidence. I'm high on this one. I'll throw the money on it. $100 gets you your money plus 67. Robin bet those parlays. So if one lose, yeah, but boxing fan. I'm not allowed to give. We're not offered round robin down here in Australia. DraftKings, guys, anywhere in the world, if you guys are betting DraftKings, listen to Boxing Fan. You guys have the option of doing round robin betting. It seems like the play. High interest. What's up, big man? You've been hitting them NBA joints. High interest in our Discord. Is that you that you've been putting up the NBA parlays or NBA props? I've been popping in and out of our NBA channel, and I don't know if it's King. Maybe it's King of Fitness or King. There's some boys in our NBA channel yesterday. The season started 2 days ago, and you guys are doing like under 5 assists, over 6 rebounds, and it'll be like a 15 leg prop coming through. I'm like, you guys are savages. boxing fan. It might be called combination betting, and you're maybe it is. Maybe it is. Guys, I gotta while out. While out. While out. Before I go, I want to check the Insta real quick. I wanted to play something for you guys real quick before I while out. So Timmy Zoo. Okay, player. Yeah, player. That's me. So Pedro Diaz, is this a good fit? You know what? I want to pause this. I want to ask you guys this real quick because I want to cover it. Is Pedro, this is what I want to end on to this live. Is Pedro Diaz a good fit for Zoo? Question mark. Boom. Okay, guys. Is Pedro Diaz a good fit for Tim Tszyu? Tim Tszyu just announced he's coming back to fight in Australia in December. He's gone to Miami. He's paired up with Pedro Diaz. Guys, Pedro Diaz is a Cuban-style coach. Miguel Cotto, Rigondo, a couple other guys, but it's the Cuban style. And here's my take on this. I want to know, and I put this up on my YouTube and Instagram. Here's my take on it. He just announced his new coach, Pedro Diaz, famed world champion coach, Cuban style, Miguel Cotto, one of his. You know, there's an echo. I'll just tell you what I'm saying here. I don't like this fit. I don't like this fit for Zoo. And here's why. When rumor was breaking that Tim Tszyu was going to change coaches and he was going to America, I thought perfect. I was like, Tszyu, then if I were him, I would go with Abel Sanchez. I would go with Robert Garcia, a Mexican style coach, somebody who could take Tim Tszyu's strengths, already what he does well, and tighten them up, sharpen them. Because at this stage of the game, he's in his 30s. There's two sets of thinking on this. One set of thinking is, okay, you know, you got to work on your weaknesses. You got to learn this, you got to learn this. Guys, the other set, and I disagree with that, especially with a 30, 31-year-old. At this stage of the game, old dog, new tricks, the chance of that happening, very small. Life is really short. Focus on your goddamn strengths. Take what you're already good at, take what your brain, your mechanisms, your neural pathways are already used to doing, and raise and amplify those. Don't try to change the whole fighter. And I feel with his front forward style, Mexican style, body punching, Abel Sanchez, good fit, Robert Garcia, good fit. But when I heard he was going with Pedro Diaz, and this is no shade on Pedro, great coach, world champion coach. Like I said, do your research if you don't know who Pedro is, out of Miami, Florida. To think that you're just going to take, and we know that Tim's not a mover. Not all guys are movers. We know Tim's footwork, you know, isn't the best, but you're going to take a guy who already has that pressure foot style and try to make him a mover? Anyway, I disagree. I've always been the fan of, it's like when Kelly Pavlik, I always use Pavlik is because it's a personal example. When he left Jack Lowe, Kelly, front foot style, flat footed, big puncher. What did he do? He didn't go learn the Cuban style. He went to Robert Garcia, you know, somebody who could already take that sort of Mexican style and add to it, especially in such a way of execution, game planning. That's what I thought. Those were the biggest flaws, in my opinion, with Tim Tszyu. It wasn't necessarily remove everything that he does well and add and just make him a different fighter. It was more like give him a different team that could take what his strengths already are and create a better executed game plan. Right? I felt like that's where he fell short, was his fight IQ and his plan A and lack of plan B, C, and D. And so that's my take on it. I'm a Tim Tszyu fan. I wish him well. We're gonna see if it works. I felt like he should have paired up with a Mexican coach who taught the Mexican style, not a Cuban style coach. But we'll see if that's just my take. So, and on that note, guys, I gotta go run. I literally have to go run. It's 7:25 a.m. I'm gonna go run a 5K, and then I have a client at 9 a.m. as well. I have a client at 10 a.m. and then I'm going to come back here to watch Puerto Rico. My book says that Malik Montgomery and Joshua Pagan should be starting around my 12:30. So I'm going to see if I might go live again. So stay tuned. I appreciate all the support. Like this video, subscribe.